Join us for a driving review of the BMW 8 Series Gran Coupé. Let's go! Please subscribe if you haven't done so far, so we can always keep you updated. Here, the new 8 Series Gran Coupé. In the front, very strong appearance, wide double kidney. Here in this shadow black pack with all the black accentuations, all the vertical black front grille. Headlamps really horizontally drawn and come LED as standard. Optional with the laser light, you can see here also with those blue accentuations for a special high beam function and the really impressive daytime running light we can see here. This color here is called Frozen Brilliant White and it is a matte white color. So you can also hear how I feel it. 5 meters 08, 16 foot 8 or 200 inches is the length of the BMW 8 Series Gran Coupé. So this is 20 centimeters longer in wheelbase if you compare it to the two-door coupé of the BMW 8 Series. This one then here with some room on the rear compartment. We will of course experience that on the interior. The roof here, by the way, comes either in normal steel vehicle color, then there's a panoramic roof available, which we also have here, or you can get a carbon fiber roof then for some weight reduction. Yeah, okay, it's just visual. But yes, there is some weight reduction, but you know, whatever for this car. Technology-wise, you also have a rear axle steering with the Gran Coupé. That means that when you drive slowly, the rear wheels turn up to 3 degrees to the opposite side than the front wheels, and at higher speeds in the parallel direction to give some more stability. And of course, at lower speeds, it reduces the turning circle, for example, and also gives you some more agility. And also optional, you can get an anti-tilt control or anti-roll control, so the car is a little bit more upright than also in the corners. This is the engine you should actually go for. This is the base entry engine of the Gran Coupé. It's the 840i, 3-liter inline 6-cylinder with 340 horsepower, 5.2 seconds acceleration figure to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour as rear-wheel drive. Okay, a little bit faster, 4.9 as X-drive, which is optionally available, but I mean, go for the rear-wheel drive. Trust me. Keyless entry, when you put your finger on the outside, you close it, or your hand on the inside, and wow, this matte paint always feels so great. It's even nicer to touch the car then. So, then of course, frameless doors. That's typical coupe style, how it's supposed to be, and also a good advantage when you're getting in and out narrow parking lots. You have the window lowered and get out without just, having the door like this. And then you get out, hold the closing button on the key and raise the window again from the outside. Practical stuff. Then Hofmeister King inside door handle. Nice design element, retro style. Optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system. So this would be one of the rare options you could go for to have even more elaborate sound. Most of the other stuff is already included here in the 8 Series, gladly. There we go. Yeah, Jonas likes those sound systems. Then the M entry badge, because this one is the let's say M line just. It is not the M850i, but you can still get those, you know, M Sport lines then even for the non-M Performance models. Also in here with the M steering wheel. Heated function is available. Left side control for the cruise control. Right side, for example, for the voice control. But you can also always start with Hey BMW. I'll show you some examples for that very soon. The only thing they did not think about is that more and more customers want to combine great luxury with sustainability or being animal friendly. And so far they only offer animal skin seats for this car. This will at some point change in the future and also for some future models. But for this model, as development already started in 2015, they forgot that in this case. So there's definitely something that is missing. But we'll test the comfort of those seats very soon, no matter of the material then in this case. So let's get inside. And well, how does it relate to other BMW models? Of course, you sit relatively low. You have somewhat of a sports car feeling. But it's not a small, agile sports car. It's a little bit wider, definitely. And the seat falls a little bit backwards. So I always recommend to put the seat a little bit higher than in general. So that gives you a little bit more comfort because you sit a little bit more upright. But let's start in lowest position as for the headroom. And especially with the panoramic roof, that comes quite very close here to the A-pillar because it's very flat. And then to the inside, with 1.86 or 6.1, it still fits. But there's not a good package for this car. So in the front, not too much room, and everything is really flawlessly executed. As for the build quality, BMW really stepped up the game here. Also, you know, the panel gaps and so on, the contour stitches. So really perfection in detail. That's what you really like and also appreciate when you buy such an expensive car. Continue on further with the touchscreen, for example, also the car settings right there. So everything is kept rather simple. This new 7.0 operating system being updated all the time, and it's getting a little bit easier and a little bit better to to control everything. And a look at the digital instruments, which are not as adaptive as the one from Audi, for example, but they actually show you everything you need. Left side speed, right side the RPM, and Jonas is also allowed to rev it a little bit up. Yes. Way to go, Jonas. Then you can see, for example, your current music list or something. And also, because it goes counterclockwise, which is on the one hand unusual, it leaves space on the interior. For example, then for the GPS map, so that's quite handy, definitely. The rear design, same as in the front. Big middle tunnel. The middle tunnel is also, by the way, where they also use carbon fiber. Some, resemblance to the 7 Series platform, but the 8 Series is actually quite standalone. Isofix at the outsides, and interesting that they did not use any plastic covers for the Isofix, but they also used the soft materials. Yeah, in this case, again, it's animal skin, but they could also do it with leather red. But I think it's an interesting idea not to just use plastic covers for that. So that's, again, attention to detail. And you can already see the 2-door coupe. You cannot sit in the rear there. And it's different here with the 4-door coupe. That's also what this car is all about. So when I get inside here, I can actually sit in the rear as a tall adult, and I still have reasonable legroom. It is recommended to raise the seat in the front a little bit, first of all for your comfort, but then also you can put your feet under the seat, because when the seat is in the lowest position, you cannot put your feet under the seat. So that is recommended, definitely. Headroom-wise, yeah. I mean, if I sit a little bit monkey-like, this works. But when I put my spine up, then I do hit the ceiling with 1.86 or 6.1. But still, I would say it works with 4 adults here in the car. And as for the trunk, 440 liters. That's about 50 liters more than with the 2-door coupe. So you're a little bit more flexible. Of course, limited loading entry right there. In height, you can see, put some baggage in there, so cabin trolley, and the backpack also fits in like this, so this is actually no problem. And let me also give you a free view. Here we go. And you can also release the seats from here, and then you have to go around to flip them like this, 2/3, 1/3, or the ski hatch is also available. And then you can also load some longer things through. And that is then let's see, to my seat as I would be driving. That's actually quite significant. I mean, it's a long car, so that's 1.90 meters. So, we put in the sport mode and welcome to the driving part in an agile way with the new 8 Series Gran Coupé. So that's what we have been looking for. Yeah, really decent sounding from this inline 6-cylinder. We're also a little bit more out in the countryside now, where you can push it a little bit just more. And with a good and neutral handling. Now at the higher speeds, the rear axle steering is rather steering in a parallel direction to give me a little bit more stability. Yet again, I can just stress that the car feels really agile, although it has this long wheelbase. So you do not feel that it's that long. And also if you compare it, for example, to, let's say, equal big cars in BMW, thinking about a 5 Series or a 7 Series, this one definitely feels more agile and is a lot of fun to steer around. And if you ask me, did we have much more fun than in the convertible or in the Coupé with the 2 doors? That's a tough question. I mean, but I can really say that it's not too much compromise here with the longer wheelbase. Indeed, it still is really cool and fun to drive, especially on those winding corners. Also when it gets a little bit more narrow, actually no problem at all. So now on the brakes, yeah, good feeling also here for the brakes. And when it's a little bit calm and green, you go to comfort mode, the car shifts up actually. And then you're a little bit calmer right there. And as soon as you want to apply some more power once again, you can go to the sports mode, and then the RPMs go up again, the car shifts up later. You can always use the shifting pedals as well. I will also do that here now for you. So we go back to the sports mode. And then I can always shift down myself. There it is. And I can also exceed the RPMs a little bit more. And yeah, meanwhile, I really think I'm used to see the RPMs going up in the counterclockwise way. So no problems for that. Oh, some birds. Attention to those always. And now the road is also getting a little bit rough, but wow, this adaptive suspension, although it's now in the sports setting, is doing a phenomenal job to still keep the comfort while driving sporty. And I really like that, you know, this compromise they could create here. So this, yeah, really very well done. This adaptive suspension, I can just stress it once more that it's really, yeah, the best thing about this car. And I really can understand when this car is bought most from the whole 8 Series lineup, because it gives you just more flexibility as for the rear passengers and as for the trunk. But at the same time, you still have a lot of driving fun when you need it. Yet again, due to the longer wheelbase, a little bit more tranquility, also when running straight and being on the motorway and so on. And here you also feel, by the way, we're driving a little bit faster now, but there are some potholes, yes, but the road, the tarmac, is not as rough as, for example, on those Portuguese motorways here close by. So here we also have, again, the proven good noise insulation at about 90 kilometers an hour, which is allowed here on the countryside roads. And yeah, that's also we're going very fast here on those roads, not, exceeding the speed limit. But yet you can see there's a big difference then to the other cars, because I'm feeling so much comfortable. Even though the road is a little bit wet, we always have to be more careful as for that. But still, you feel so comfortable and so much in control of this car that you're also able to drive a little bit faster. Let's see if we can overtake here in a safe way. Yeah, I can see enough what's coming ahead. That's fastly done then. So always be very careful when overtaking. Always, you can need to see a couple of 100 meters ahead that someone is coming, especially motorcyclists. And wow, this is really amazing, so much fun. Now the pothole, no problem for the suspension. Although again, being in the sports mode, this is really amazing. So enjoying this ride so much. Crisp feedback also from the shifting pedals. This is really cool. And well, I really think it's like more fun than being on the racetrack. And this inline 6-cylinder sound, especially when we're now in the higher RPM regions, is also definitely enough for me. Yes, the 8-cylinder does sound a little bit better. We've driven this part here also with the 8 Series convertible, for example, with the M840i. 8-cylinder does sound better, but yet again, this rear-wheel drive is so much better to handle, I have to say. When I'm going out of the corners especially, it gives me more agility. Just circles the car around a little bit more, and it also makes sense in combination with the rear axle steering. So especially this combination, the entry-level engine, which has also less weight than the 8-cylinder, then the rear-wheel drive and the rear axle steering, this makes the car really more agile than it's, let's say, supposed to be, or than the length would actually promise, and that's a really cool thing. Wow. Oh, cyclist. Yeah, this just seemed to be a break. Was wondering, if there like some accident we would have helped, of course. So, but they seem to enjoy some meditation here at that mountain top. And this is also such a yeah, Jonas is laughing. Yeah, I like to joke, sometimes while driving, of course. Wow, such an amazing ride. How are you enjoying this one, Jonas?
Yeah, it's great.
You're getting sick already?
No. I'm just laughing about the guys doing a serious meditation, and we are disturbing silence.
We are disturbing. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, mea culpa. So we are definitely disturbing their silence with this inline 6-cylinder. Wow, that is such an enjoyable road. And I have to pay a little attention because the road is a little bit wet, but good traction also from those tires, and the 20-inch wheels also do not destroy our comfort or sporty balance or something. Of course, a little bit sportier with the 20-inch and would be a little bit more comfortable with the 19-inch, but the 20-inch still working very well. And now the next village, next dog, 30 kilometers an hour, relax again, and this is indeed, this span this car is offering between sportiness and comfort. And I think driving-wise, all the driving dynamics, we can just applaud. What a beautiful view here north of Portimao at the Algarve coast, and in the distance I can also see the racetrack. Yeah, what about our conclusion here for today with the 8 Series Gran Coupé? It will be the most significant of the 8 Series from the global sales worldwide, and I can also understand why, because it gives you still some everyday usability with this rear space you have there for the passengers and also for the trunk length. But still, as we've seen driving-wise, it is so much fun, so agile to drive, especially with the combination rear axle steering, then the rear-wheel drive in this entry-level engine, which you should definitely go for. The 6-cylinder is enough power-wise, also a little bit less in weight than the 8-cylinder for the weight balance. And again, this one available as rear-wheel drive only, and you could also enjoy that. That's the best then, because you can, get it out of the corners even a little bit better than. I was, really amazed by the fun driving experience, such a great handling for a rather long vehicle. So that was really a lot of fun, especially here up there in the winding roads. And the suspension is the best part of the car. This adaptive suspension they offer between comfort and sportiness, it offers everything. I really wonder how they could manage to do that. Also exterior wise, this 3/4 rear perspective is also a very interesting one, of course. I think really a great design object, so beautifully designed. That's also amazing, and in this matte white paint, also one of my favorites, or maybe a nice Thomas blue as always, of course. The interior design is also quite cool, definitely, but very voluminous as for the middle console, so that doesn't leave you too much space. So yes, the package is bad, so you don't have too much interior space considering the exterior length you do have, so have to think about that. Even though you do have more space than with a two-door coupe, obviously, you still don't have too much space on the interior overall. And I think the seating comfort is, yes, good, so to say, but not as good as it's supposed to be with this size of the car. So I think, for example, the seat ergonomics with the BMW Z4, maybe even a little bit better than here. So that's the same I experienced with the two-door coupe and the two-door convertible. Maybe it's just a personal thing, but I felt that a lot of other BMW cars are more comfortable actually, also from the base seating position, and I think they could maybe tweak a little bit as for that. And also, of course, the seating surfaces, they should also offer some animal skin alternatives as they do in their other models, because also this can, not only from conscious California car customers, also everyone else would not disagree with having more sustainable materials which are luxurious at the very same time. So yes, on the one hand it's a little bit of a dinosaur car, definitely, but on the other hand you can combine sportiness and comfort and this really sensual design with still a part of everyday usability and being able to use it as a primary vehicle and not having just a sports car and then just a usability car or something like that. And that's definitely a very interesting mix. So which one would you actually go for from the 8 Series lineup, and would you also take my advice to go for the base 6-cylinder engine with the rear-wheel drive? Then please leave us that in the comments. Let's discuss this 8 Series Gran Coupé, and please also tune into more 8 Series reviews, also to the competitors of that one. If you think about an Audi A7 for example, or the Mercedes CLS, we get all of those reviews on Autogefuehl. Just always use the YouTube search, Autogefuehl, Mercedes CLS, for example, to find those reviews. Thanks again for tuning in today. See you next time.